Kaya Nunakurt. Look, I recently passed a milestone of more than 30 years working in the West Australian arts sector, most of that in a regional context, and most of it a bit of a struggle, to be honest, really. I mean, our sector is one that, because it's so heavily dependent on government funding, we kind of lurch a little bit from crisis to crisis, and it feels like we're in one of those points just at the moment. We've got a state government whose key message really is around fiscal restraint, which means that there's not a lot of room for growth or even continuation of some funding pots for the regional arts sector and even ourselves as an organisation. But that doesn't mean we just take all of this lying down. My board and myself are continuing to advocate to both state and federal governments about the need to continue funding for regional arts and regional arts organisations, and I hope that you'll join us in that advocacy campaign. And one of the ways you can do that is happening right now. Our national counterparts, Regional Arts Australia, are mounting a nationwide campaign to do with the federal election. We're trying to make sure that the Regional Arts Fund is increased by at least $2 million per year. And so they're running a campaign called Vote One Regional Arts. If you go to the Regional Arts Australia website, there's a whole lot of information on there about things that you can say to politicians. There's even templates of letters that you can write. And I urge you to get on board and make sure that we all vote one regional arts. So that, for instance, our last funding round, which closed last Friday, we were a little bit overwhelmed by the response we got to that funding round. And unfortunately, we're going to be disappointing a lot of people when we come to hand out the money that we've got as part of that against the ask that people are requesting from us. So let's all make sure we vote one regional arts. And that can mean that we make sure that a lot of the fantastic work that's already happening continues to happen, such as the festival season that's just been upon us with the Boyup Brook Country Music Festival, the Nannup Music Festival. We've got Margaret River Readers and Riders about to happen, the Denmark Festival of the Voice. Here in Perth, we had the Fringe Festival and the Perth Festival, and as part of that, we ran a blind dates program where we brought producers and regional presenters together so that they could talk to each other about some of the issues and challenges of touring regionally, so that with every tour that happens, we make it a little bit better. Some other things that have been happening are we've started our local leadership program. It kicked off in Margaret River last week with a huge turnout, which is really good, and it starts in Broome next week. They both run for the next 3 months so that we can start building up the pool of people able to carry sort of regional arts sector forward into the next century or so. Very soon, we'll be putting out some information about our regional AGM. We do one of those every 2 years. And so keep an eye out for that and make sure you can join us for that important meeting, and also some other workshops and meetings that we're going to be holding in and around that meeting. We'll have more news about where that is soon. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you under a big sky soon.